Another great film I got the chance to check out that was up for some not Oscars was The Sound of Metal, which is on Amazon Prime. And that's another really powerful film, narrative. But what makes it so powerful is just really how simple it is. It's just about a guy who's in a rock band who loses his hearing. I mean, that's the basic premise. But how the filmmakers really showcase that premise, I think, is really exemplary, and it just makes us think of how we can tell stories very simply and how they can be incredibly powerful, like this film is. One of the great aspects of the film is how they use sound design. I know they won an Oscar for, I think, sound or sound mixing, and it just how they incorporate sound and how they go about turning the sound on and off just really immerses us in the story, and it immerses us in the main character's journey, which is really just incredibly powerful. And it's a docu style, and there's just some really just touching moments throughout, and we just really feel what I've been saying a lot with a lot of the movies that I'm critiquing and evaluating, is that we feel so much empathy for the main character, and that's what makes it memorable, and that's what makes us engaged and want to watch it, and that's why it leaves a mark on us. And I think this film just it kind of starts, and we just go on the journey with the characters. And as the story develops, we get to learn more and more about each character. And like I said, it's just a really simple premise and a simple concept, but how they showcase it and how they set up these interactions with the main character, with his girlfriend, with the people that he meets that are trying to help him get his hearing back, when he has interactions with the girlfriend's family and with her friends, and re-entering the girlfriend's life. Just the way it's done is just so subtle and so powerful. And I think a lot of times filmmakers, we get in this rut and we think everything has to be grand and just incredibly elaborate and intense. And sometimes that works for sure. Sometimes those grand schemes and that elaborate nature of a particular concept is going to work. But what's even more powerful and what makes it even more dramatic is the simplicity that we find. And like I said, what's this film about? Hey, a guy loses his hearing, okay? But that situation develops and how it's told so organically and genuinely, and how we get to really feel empathy for these characters because of those situations, and just setting up these organic situations, but having the characters acting believably and honestly in these situations is what makes it engaging and compelling. So this is just a really great example. Again, we're looking at this content to be moved and to learn as filmmakers, and this is just a great example. I love the film. I think it was shot in like 25 days. The main character is great. All the acting is great because it's so subtle. And I'm going to do some videos on the sound design and acting and how it can really help or really hinder a project. And this is just a great example of both. It's a great example of how subtle acting is so powerful. Not to say that the main character, right, he loses his hearing. So there's times throughout the film where he just loses it, right, especially in the beginning. But it's justified amongst those situations. So it's not coming out of left field. It doesn't feel like it's just being put on, for a show. It feels like it's very organic and real to the situation that's at hand, right? When you lose your hearing, that's a huge deal, especially if your life is music. I mean, that's gonna rile up some emotions, and it does. But the way that it's formulated in this film is just very powerful, and it just feels very real. And then there's a scene at the end, which I don't want to give it away, but oh my God, it is so powerful, and hardly anything is said. Hardly anything is said, and yet it is just unbelievably powerful. One of the ending scenes, and again, I'm not going to give it away, but if you're listening, go watch this film on Prime, because just for that moment at the end, it reminds me of a moment, which again, I don't want to give away because I want people to watch these films and enjoy them for themselves. But it reminds me of a moment in Manchester by the Sea, which is another just a amazingly beautiful film, but just again, this incredibly heartbreaking moment, and hardly anything is said. And that's the beauty and simplicity, and that's what makes it powerful. But it's organic, it's real, right? So a lot of times in filmmaking, when we're talking about acting, when we're talking about situations, uh, and having them really compel an audience, a lot of times less is more. A lot of times less is more, and just saying less and just being present, being in the moment, and just taking in that moment. But it's just really, this film, The Sound of Metal, is just a masterclass, I think, in filmmaking. And it really deserves all the praise that it's getting. The main character, the main actor, deserves all the credits that he's getting. But again, all the actors were great. It's just, it's so simply beautiful. So watch it, learn from this, right? We got to learn from this great work and how we can incorporate it in our own. So I'm doing that, but you know, it's just a great lesson in not only sound design, how sound is so important. And again, I'm going to do some videos on sound, how acting, how being subtle, being real, being organic is so important. And also just less is more when it comes to all of it, right? Just setting up those real situations, having them play out organically and genuinely, and that's going to compel the audience. We don't have to go over the top. We don't have to you know, have our actors go over the top. It's just being grounded, being situated, and just living these moments. And that's what we're doing as audience members, and that's what we want the actors to do, and that's what we want to do as filmmakers too. So really, wow, just a powerful film, man. Like I said, that ending, well, one of the it's not the final scene, but towards the end, there is a scene. And my goodness, is it powerful, man? And nothing is said. Nothing is said. Well, one, like, the main character says like one line. He says one line, and it's just, oh my God. I mean, you get chills just watching this or even thinking about it. So, man, what a powerful movie. Go watch it, learn from it, man. Learn from it. Learn from this stuff. Guys and girls out there, learn from this great content that's out there. That's what we should be doing. There's so much great stuff out there. Immerse yourself in it and learn from it and become better filmmakers, better actors, better storytellers from all of it. So I highly recommend Sound of Metal on Amazon Prime. Check it out.